Tom Cugle is one of the most well-known horsemen on Delmarva. And for good reason. He's one of the most hardworking, knowledgeable, dedicated, and reliable people in harness racing. And because of those outstanding qualities, Tom was recently named the 2024 Caretaker of the Year by the United States Harness Writers Association's Delaware Valley chapter. Although Tom wasn't born into the business, he did discover horses and harness racing at a young age. And as he tells us, it was a love at first sight.
My mom was dating a guy that was best friends with a man named Bud Bauman, who owned racehorses with George Worthen. And we went to the racetrack, Free State Raceway, every night. I was just one of those little racetrack kids that ran around picking up all the losing tickets thinking I'd win. I was probably 14, and Bud Bauman took me down to the barn one time to meet his horses, and I just fell right in love. That summer, George and Shirley Worthen asked me if I wanted to come learn the business. I'm like, yeah. So they picked me up for 2 summers. I was 14, 15, 16. I graduated in '86 and had learned the business enough that I wanted to get a job in it. So unfortunately, George didn't have a job opening, but Samuel Belote did. So my very first job was with Samuel Belote at Free State Raceway. Probably 6, 7, 8 months, and then George had a job opening, and I'm like, I gotta go to George. And I was there for 10 years.
Another George who Tom has had a long history with is George Teague Jr. The award winner joined Team Teague more than 17 years ago.
At that time, it was the Total Truth, Western Ace, Rainbow Blue era. And they said, we have job openings if you ever want one. And I was like, I think I want to come to work for you. So I moved in to the farmhouse on the farm where Brenda has in 2007. I've been there ever since. I can't tell you the joy that I've had taking care of some of these incredible horses, Mr. Wiggles was my heart horse. Somewhere Over a Rainbow, she won the Breeders' Crown, was 2-year-old Pace and Filly of the Year. Delmarva won the Adios. Countless horses. Winkinatch was one of my favorites. Custard the Dragon, Lennon Blue Chip. I've just had so many here recently. Kodak Black is my heart horse. It's just been amazing, an amazing ride. I thank them so much for the opportunities they've given me to take care of such wonderful horses. Good and bad. I've had some bad ones that I still loved. Bad, I mean, not spectacular caliber racehorses, but, Montreal had Bluffs Crush. She was my heart horse, and she got claimed. She was 75 claimer, but I thought she was a world champion. That's just me.
Tom's responsibilities exceed those of most grooms in racing. Sure, he takes care of horses in training, 9 total, but his job description has him wearing countless other hats, which require him to set the alarm early.
So a normal day for me is I try to be up by 5, not be out of the house, but be up. Starts with going and feeding my stallions, because the stallions live where I live. Wait for it to get light. Well, then go over to the racehorse farm, either start my stalls, wait for it to get light. In the summer, it's a little easier because it's lighter earlier. Start my stalls, and then whenever I get a break, run, feed the fields, go back, finish racehorse work. If my fields at the other farms need hay, I'll haul the round bales, feed them again. If I got to come to the races, I got to do it in a 95,000 times faster. 9 race days are a little easier, but like today, I had to haul hay before I came up here to race, and it worked out. Ship up, do my racing, ship back home, do whatever I didn't get fed, feed in the dark, because that's what you got to do. That's how I roll.
In addition to the racehorse responsibilities, Tom is the foaling manager for the Teague stable, as he oversees the pregnancies of the broodmares, plus the foaling and the aftercare of about 20 baby standardbreds each season.
I have my first mare due March 16th, who, she's starting to be my, okay, let me eye her up, if there's any activity in her udder, You know, it's time to come in and go on cameras. Maiden mares, you sort of kind of keep an eye on closer than one of my older mares. You know, I sort of know them. I know their routine. You know, they're going to go 2 weeks over. They're going to go 12 days over. They're going to go 5 days early because you keep records. You know, like, I don't want to say nothing's ever correct. I mean, you do have mistakes, and mistakes do happen, but you can try your hardest, you know, to have it pinpointed down to how it's supposed to be, and it's not going to go that way. But that's the breeding business.
Despite working from sunup to sundown, and sometimes in the middle of the night during the foaling season, oh, and being on a 7-day-a-week schedule, Tom can't imagine doing anything else.
You know, I fell right in love when I was 14, and I still have that love. You know, I just love it. You know, I love the business. I've done it 40 plus years, and it's just my thing. You know, I wouldn't want to do, I've tried every now and again to think about doing something different, and I came back. Dedication is the main thing. You know, I'm the one that gets called for everything. Cut, sick, temperature, colic, you know, that's what I incorporated into myself to do. You know, every one of those things that I mentioned are not fun things, but somebody has to tend to it. And me and George is always there if there's a problem. Brenda, Clyde, Montrell. Montrell's there for every one of his that are foaled. George is on the phone usually, but he's right there if there's a problem. You know, he lives a quarter of a mile away, and he'll be right there if I say, I need you. He's right there. Brenda, I keep away until after the fact because she gets so nervous. But then I'm like, hey, come on, you got a baby.
It's obvious that Tom puts his heart and soul into everything he does. And that makes for a strong connection with the horses he cares for. And a lot of happy ones, too.
I'd never been around a horse when I was 14, but when Bud Bauman took me down to the barn to meet his horse, Bud's hit the horse's name. I'll never forget it. And it was just, the light bulb came on, and this is what I want to do. You know, I love watching the races with my mom and her boyfriend. You know, I loved them. You know, I never forget I took care of a little old 3-claiming mare named Hasty Girl's Best for George Worth, and then she won one night, and you just thought she won the Breeders' Crown. I was so proud of her, you know, and that feeling is what's kept me going, I think.
Once again, congratulations to Tom Cugle on his Caretaker of the Year award. And thank you, Tom, for your smile, laughter, and the love you have brought to harness racing and to our wonderful four-legged athletes.